was a winter wonderland in the heart of Antarctica. Snow sparkled like diamonds on every iceberg and glaciers. Thousands of penguins huddled together against the icy winds, happily waddling back and forth. And amongst them lived a little penguin named Pippin, whose spirit of adventure was always getting him into trouble. Now, Pippin loved sliding on the ice, swimming in the freezing sea, and especially waddling with his friends. But deep inside, Pippin had a secret dream. He wanted to fly. Now, this was quite an unusual dream for a penguin, as penguins can't fly. But every night before going to bed, Pippin would look up at the sky and watch the graceful seagulls soar above the crashing waves. And with each passing day, his desire to fly grew stronger. One night, Pippin was gazing at the stars when he saw a shooting star zoom across the dark blue canvas above. "Oh, if I could ask just one wish," Pippin sighed. Suddenly, the shooting star winked and disappeared. To his surprise, a tiny voice echoed in his head. "What is it you wish for, young penguin?" Startled, Pippin turned around, but he saw no one. "Who's there?" he asked nervously. "It is I, the shooting star fairy," the tiny voice replied. "I grant wishes to those who dream big. Tell me, what do you wish for?" Pippin pondered for a moment. "Oh, I want to fly," he blurted out. "I want to soar through the sky like the seagulls and feel the wind beneath my wings." The fairy waved her magic wand. "As you wish," she said, and vanished. The next morning, Pippin woke up feeling excited. He looked around for the fairy, but she was nowhere to be seen. And then he noticed something peculiar. His feet were gone. Startled, he hopped on his flippers. "My feet, they're gone," he cried. Just then, the shooting star fairy appeared beside him. "Don't be alarmed, Pippin," she chuckled. "Your feet haven't disappeared. They've simply transformed into wings." Pippin looked down in disbelief. His feet had indeed become a pair of beautiful wings, shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow. Overjoyed, he flapped them, but they felt heavy and awkward. He tried again, and this time he soared into the air. But alas, the joy was short-lived. As soon as he was airborne, the other penguins started poking fun at him. "Look at Pippin," they jeered, "trying to fly like a clumsy bird. Penguins can't fly." And Pippin, embarrassed and disheartened, landed back on the ground. As he watched the other penguins waddling away, he realized that his new wings were causing him more trouble than they were worth. He wished he could shrink them back into feet so he could join his friends without drawing attention. But the fairy had granted his wish, and it couldn't be undone. Just then, the fairy reappeared. "Why are you still here, Pippin?" she asked, puzzled. "I thought you'd be flying around with your new wings." Pippin explained how the other penguins had laughed at him. "They're right," the fairy said gently. "Penguins cannot fly." "But Pippin, you never said what kind of flying you wanted to do." "Flying isn't just about soaring through the air. It's about moving freely and joyfully in any way you choose." She waved her magic wand once more. "This time, let's try something different." In a flash, his colorful wings disappeared, and Pippin found himself growing taller and slimmer. His body was now sleek and aerodynamic, like a bird's, yet undeniably penguin-like. And much to his astonishment, he had a tail. Overjoyed, Pippin raced to the edge of the ice shelf. Taking a deep breath, he launched himself into the air and glided effortlessly above the waves. He swooped and soared, feeling the wind beneath his wings and the spray of the ocean on his face. It was pure magic. Suddenly, a pod of hungry leopard seals emerged from the water, their sharp teeth glistening in the sunlight. Pippin knew he couldn't outrun them on the ground, so he took to the sky. He swooped and dived, dodging their snapping jaws by mere inches. But they were fast and determined, and soon one of them got a hold of his tail. Fearful yelps escaped his beak as he struggled to free himself. Seeing Pippin in danger, the fairy swooped down and waved her magic wand. In an instant, the ice beneath the seals cracked and they slipped into the freezing water. Then, with a flick of her wrist, she mended the ice, hiding the seal's escape route. Safe at last, Pippin landed on a nearby iceberg, trembling with fear. "Thank you, fairy," he whispered, realizing that his new abilities had put him in great peril. He missed his old life as an ordinary penguin. The fairy understood his feelings. "Being different can be scary, Pippin," she said kindly. "Sometimes it's hard to find your place when you don't fit in." Pippin sighed. "I wish I could go back to being a normal penguin, waddling along with my friends without having to worry about being chased by leopard seals or not fitting in." The fairy waved her magic wand. "As you wish," she said. In a blink, Pippin found himself back in his penguin form, waddling awkwardly on his stubby little feet. Overjoyed, he raced to find his friends, eager to share his exciting adventure. But to his surprise, they were nowhere to be seen. Disheartened, he slumped onto a nearby rock, missing his sleek wings and his ability to soar through the sky. Suddenly, he heard a familiar voice. "Looking for me?" Pippin turned around and saw his friends, along with the rest of the penguin colony, staring at him with admiration and respect. "We've been watching you, Pippin," one of them said. "You were amazing. You flew better than any of the birds." Another added, "We want to learn how to fly like you did." Thrilled to have their attention, Pippin began sharing stories of his adventures, describing how he dodged the leopard seals and flown above the waves. As he spoke, he noticed a group of Adelie penguins waddling towards them. These penguins were known for their speed on the ice, but they looked out of breath. "We need your help," one of them gasped. "Our chicks are trapped on the other side of the ice shelf and we can't reach them in time to protect them from the storm." Without hesitation, Pippin spread his stubby little wings and flapped hard. "Hop on my back," he told the Adelie penguins. One by one, they clambered aboard. Then, with a mighty effort, he lifted off the ground and soared above the waves. Working together, they reached the chicks just as the storm arrived, shielding them with their bodies until the worst of the weather passed. When they returned, the grateful parents cheered and their chicks peeped with delight. From that day forward, Pippin wasn't just known as the penguin who couldn't fly, but as Pippin the Brave, the hero who'd saved the chicks from the storm. His dream of flying had led him on an incredible journey, showing him that sometimes your greatest dreams can come true in the most unexpected ways. And so, Pippin continued to live in Antarctica, embracing his penguin life with all its ups and downs, knowing that he had wings, not just on his back, but in his heart, too. He often wondered about the shooting star fairy and the magical adventures that awaited other penguins who dared to dream big. For Pippin knew that even in the coldest, iciest places, dreams could take flight and heroes could soar. And that's why, whenever the southern stars twinkled above Antarctica, Pippin the Brave would gaze up at the sky with wonder, remembering the time he learned that sometimes flying means finding your own way to soar.